Hey everybody. Today we're going to look at using the Zimmhauser Baby Fenster impulse responses in a recording application. In Reaper here, I have pulled up a little sludgy doom number I threw together for our demonstration. Our guitar tracks were recorded using an Orange Microdark boosted with a Boss Metal Zone run through a Two Note Torpedo Captor to capture our raw signal. Now, when I recorded these, I did run through an impulse response just for monitoring purposes, so it sounded closer to a real final guitar signal. But one of the advantages of using impulse responses is it allows you to go back in and you can kind of fine tune that speaker and microphone selection that you can't do with traditional recording because it involves reamping and time and effort and you know just energy that a lot of us don't really have in our day-to-day lives. Let's take a listen to it and see what it sounds like. You can hear it's kind of an ugly, fizzy, nasty sound, right? Because it's just purely off of your power amp. So we're going to go in and we're going to add in our speaker and microphone selection and see what we can come up with. So let's open up our impulse response loader here on our track and let's see what we can do. So in the Ignite Amps NAT IR loader here, you can use dual or stereo microphone for your signal. And one of the ways that you can set up your stereo microphones is you can have one that is more for your high end and one that's more for your low end to get kind of a balanced, thicker sound. So for this demonstration, I'll use one of the more classic combinations of microphones, the SM57 paired with a Sennheiser 421. And in this demonstration, the 57 will be used to capture our high end, and the 421 will be for our low end. In all of our Zimmhauser impulse responses, we try to give the flexibility of what it would really be like in a studio environment where you can move the microphone around to different points on the speaker, to different distances as well as different angles. So the speakers are all captured at the starting in the center at the cap, the dust cap, which is our brightest point on the speaker, then to the where the dust cap meets the cone, then the middle of the cone, then where the cone meets the edge, and then finally the edge of the speaker. And as the microphone moves from the center out towards the edge, then you get more of a darker tone from the speaker. And at each one of these locations, we also have different distances involved. So it starts at 0 inches, 1 inches, two, and so on. And the as the microphone moves away, you get less of a proximity effect, so it starts to roll off some of your low end. And then also you have the ability to see the microphone at different angles in relation to their distance and speaker location. So, for instance, this SM57 here is at the cap 1 inch away at a 30-degree angle. So, and for demonstration purposes here, we'll go ahead and move it around so you can kind of see what it'll sound like. So I'll start at the cap and work my way out to the edge, and I have it soloed out so you can hear just the 57. Okay, let's take a listen. So as you can see, it as it moves over, it definitely starts to roll off your higher frequencies. And now with the Baby Fenster being a naturally darker sounding cabinet, and with more of that sludgy tone and the guitar being tuned down to dropped A, we're going to try to capture more of our high end as we can. So I'm going to opt to go with the directly at the cap to get, like I said, that kind of shimmering high that we can get. So we'll start at 0 degree, sorry, 0 inches, and we'll back away and see what it sounds like. So So I'm going to opt for the 1 inch. It's kind of a happy medium there. You can hear where it's at the 0 inches. It's a little bit boomier and it starts to roll off and get a little bit cleaner at 1 inch. But then when you get to 2 inches, it rolls off probably a little bit more than what we would want for this application, and the same for the 3 inches. So we'll go back to the 1 inch and we'll listen to it and determine what angle, if any, is would sound better in this application. So I'm going to go with the 10-degree angle just for a little bit of that roll off in the frequencies. Okay. And now that we have the high end, for demonstration purposes, I've already selected a low end one, just to, so it's on a 12-minute long video. But we'll listen to what they sound like together. But the low end was done in the same manner of sweeping the microphones around to find a better signal. And also, one thing that you might notice here with the high pass and low pass is that I have the high pass set around 80 and the low pass around 10 kilohertz. And then the reason for that is just to clean up a little bit of that mud that you get on the lower range of the guitar being tuned so low. And then the high pass is set just to get rid of some of that kind of noise that you get above there. There's not really any good information for guitar once you get above, that sort of range. So let's take a listen with both of our speakers together. So you can hear there, you've got the kind of the fatness coming in from the 421, and within our loader here, you can adjust the signal as you want before it gets out to your main fader. And now that we have this, let's put it back into the main mix so you can take a listen and see how it sounds all together.